have something very exciting to unbox. Remember when I said that I joined a weaving guild? Well, I have never woven anything before. I've never used a loom, and I've never spun yarn before ever. That's kind of what they do. They like spin yarn and weave and talk about weaving and spinning yarn. So I went ahead and bought something, and I'm so excited to unbox it. I ended up buying an e-spinner, which if you don't know what that is, it is a spinning wheel that is electric. Normal spinning wheels are wooden and you usually use your feet to control them. This one plugs into a wall and it's much cheaper than one of the wooden spinning wheels. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So I bought it from Yarncom. That's the name of the website. I'll put it up on the screen. But when I was looking at prices, they didn't have any taxes or shipping. So I got it at like the base price. That was the cheapest one. So I bought it from them. Shipping was super quick. It was less than a week. I've been trying to watch some videos on how to spin yarn. Of course, when the weaving guild meetings start up again later this year, I will be able to learn so much more. So right now I'm just gonna be kind of experimenting. I also bought a pound of roving and it's on its way. I think it's coming from the UK, so it's gonna take a while, but I'm excited for that. I can't really use this without that. So many parts, oh my gosh. Okay, so this is the main thing right here. I guess I'm gonna set this up and then I will get back to you and just show you what it looks like. So this is an Electric Eel Wheel 6.1. I think I have it set up. It has so many different bobbins over here and parts that I don't know what any of this is, but I'm gonna turn it on. It comes with a foot pedal. This is what it looks like. It's actually so cool. I'm not gonna plug that in yet. I am going to turn it on and then turn up the speed. Oh my God. So cool. I'm so excited. So I have no idea when my roving is gonna be here, but when it gets here, you know I'm gonna be on this thing. Until then, I will be watching a ton of YouTube videos on how to do this, what everything is, and all of that. So I hope to be an expert when the roving comes, or I'm gonna try to be. Okay, so I'm practicing with some roving from Michaels. This is for felting, but my package never came today. It was supposed to come today with my actual roving, but it didn't. So I went to Michaels and got this cheap stuff just to practice. And you know what? It's probably better to practice on cheaper stuff anyway. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I did watch a lot of videos, specifically from the Dreaming Robots YouTube channel, which is the brand of this machine. I guess I'm just trying to figure out my tension. Like if I turn this on, this should go into there, but like, is it going? It's just kind of like spinning. Anyway, still working with that. I guess I'll update you whenever I figure out how to get the actual wool to go in there. Wait. Oh God. Oh no. Whoa. See, this is why we're practicing it on very cheap wool. Oh my God. Oh my God, I broke it. Okay, I am back at it again this morning. My issue that I've been having is the machine isn't taking the leader, which is the starting piece. It's just like a piece of cotton yarn that you put your wool onto, and then it can suck it into the machine and onto the bobbin. So my issue was that it wasn't doing that. So I just got it to do it with some of my practice wool. But I also just went to a yarn store and bought some roving, and I want to show it to you because I'm impatient. So my roving is supposed to be here tomorrow. It's just plain white, but I decided to get some fun roving. This is called Cloud. So beautiful. It's Malabrigo, and it is 100% superwash merino wool. Beautiful. And then this one is called Noob, and it is 100% merino wool, not superwash. And it's also combed top hand dyed, and this is combed top hand dyed. So I'm going to practice with these. They're so beautiful. I think I'm gonna start with this one and see like what I can do. So I'm gonna prepare it and then see if I can get it onto the bobbin. This is what I've done so far. Finally got it to work. There are some thin and thick places, but that's to be expected. And I'm going to start on another bobbin. I weighed out this one, it was like 20 grams. And then I'm gonna do another 20 grams on this, and hopefully they'll be like the same length, and then we can ply them. I don't know, but that's what I'm gonna get started on. This second bobbin is done. Not very well, but it's done, and it's definitely smaller. I had a lot of issues with the fiber being too dense. So if you look at this, it's like pretty small, but you can really spread it out a lot. So I had to go through and just do that to the whole thing. Even then, I would split it in half and use like this much, and I don't know if that's too small or not. I have no idea. It was really difficult to draft, but I would get little clumps of the wool and it would be just like too thick, and now I have all this extra stuff, and so it would have been the same size if I didn't have all this extra. Let's weigh the second one and see how much it is. 19.5. This one is 20.7, so a little off. I would like to apply these, but I need a lazy Kate first, which is just a thing that holds the bobbins upright, so then you can pull from them and they turn, and it's like really easy. But yeah, I don't have one, but I'm gonna make one somehow, some way, and figure it out. I saw someone on Reddit and they had like a box and knitting needles, and I was like, perfect, I have those things. Cool, that's really thin. Oh my gosh, do you see that? This is the setup. I have these right here, and I'm gonna put them in this leader, and I changed it to an S twist. Previously it was a Z twist, so you do like a single going one way, and then when you apply, you have to go the other way, or else it'll undo the single that you did. Does that make sense? Let's turn it on and see how this works. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh, it's not taking it. It like won't take the yarn, and then it just keeps spinning and creates like way too much tension. So I'm adjusting my tension knob. You're supposed to kind of find the sweet spot, but I swear I can't find the sweet spot. So we're back at the beginning. Great. This has just been my reoccurring issue here. By the way, I plugged in the foot pedal and it's so good. It's so necessary. It's way better than having to hold this and take your hand away, turn it off, and keep going like that. I can just hold where I was holding and turn it off with my foot. You know, it got really twisted on itself, so there was a lot of energy in the yarn. So I've just been putting it on kind of by hand because it's already so plied, and if I turn it on, it gets way too twisted and then it won't feed it onto the bobbin. So I'm trying to get to a point to where they're not twisted anymore. Okay, not the best plying experience. I definitely did not do it the correct way, but it's on the bobbin and it's done. So let's check it out. That's what it looks like. So some people say to like leave it on the bobbin for one day, or even when you spin the singles, leave those on the bobbin for like one day so like the twist can really set. I think you're supposed to do the same for this. I will look it up and see, but if not, then I need to like wind it up, wash it, hit it against something, and then it'll be done. You can actually see the results. So let me do some research on that and I'll get back to you. I figured it out, and I'm just going to wrap it around my arm. So I'm at my leader, and I don't know, I'm just gonna leave it in there for now, but I'm going to tie this cotton yarn around it so it doesn't get tangled up in a mess. So it's all tied up, and I'm gonna go to the kitchen and fill up the sink, and then we're gonna wash it. So I'm gonna fill this up with like lukewarm water, not too hot, and I'm gonna add eucalyptus. This is lavender, scented. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my yarn and I'm gonna put it in there, kind of squeeze it, and I'm gonna let it soak for 15 minutes. So now I'm gonna take it out, I'm gonna gently squeeze it, and then I'm gonna put it on this towel, and I'm going to roll it up to get any of the excess water out. Then I'm going to hang it on a hanger, and I'm going to weigh it down with something. I have this massive carabiner, and I think I'm gonna attach something to this. Actually, I forgot a step. She just put it in between her hands and did that, kind of snapped it. Okay, now I'm gonna hang it. I know this looks a bit ridiculous, but I'm hanging it from my kitchen shelves, and I have vinegar, like a gallon of vinegar. It's probably halfway full, and that is what's hanging on this thing. And it's just enough where it's also kind of sitting on the shelf. That should help weigh everything down. And tomorrow, I'm gonna show you the results when everything is dry. I wanted to show you my first hank of hand spun yarn. I have like a really warm light here, and I swear it doesn't show off like the actual true colors of it. I'll insert a clip of what it looks like in natural light. This is a little over 14.5 yards, and it's 33.3 grams. And I also spun up another one, and it's hanging to dry right now, and it looks similar. ish. Although my second single that I spun looks a little bit more consistent because I finally figured out the e-spinner. I went over to a friend's house yesterday and she has an e-spinner. She's never used it before. She was using a drop spindle. So she showed me her e-spinner and it is a EEW Nano, which is the same brand as this one. It's just a little bit smaller. So I taught her all the parts about it and kind of taught her the basics, and me teaching her how to do that kind of taught me how to use it better. You really have to crank the tension. Once I did that, it started sucking up the yarn and I was like, this is it. So that was good to teach her how to use it because in turn, it taught me how to use it. And I'm excited to spin up my third skein of yarn. I still have more of this colorway, 24.3 grams. That's what I have left, but I'm still gonna spin it up for practice. Also, my roving came in yesterday, 500 grams of Cheviot wool. It smells heavily of a sheep. And ooh, oh my gosh, it's so soft. I never felt it yesterday. Wow, that's gonna be so nice. Wow. Also, my friend, she has a fiber farm and she gave me some roving from her own goat. That is what I meant to say. It's actually an Angora goat. I just kept thinking it was a sheep, but it's not. It is a goat, and Angora goats give you mohair. So this is mohair and wool that she had blended together. I think she said she mixed it with some other wool, but oh my gosh, it is so soft. It is like a cloud. It's so beautiful. I don't even want to spin with this. Like, I think I'm gonna spin with it when I really know what I'm doing because I just want it to be beautiful. I mean, it's only like a small amount, but like I'll hang it on my wall or something because it's so beautiful and it's so precious because it came from her very own goat. I think it's an Angora goat. I don't know if you can tell, but it's white and there's tiny strands of like dark, I don't know, brown or black. It's just so beautiful. Wow. I'm really, really enjoying this process. All I want to do is try to get better, which is a good thing. It was so frustrating making this first hank. Like, I was so frustrated, but I would take a break and then I would just want to get back on there just to figure it out. It makes a very lovely art yarn and I love that. I will show you my second hank when it's done drying, and I will show you this one whenever I get this one done as well, just so you can kind of see the progression of hanks and see if I've gotten a little bit better with time. So the next day I decided to dive into my other Malabrigo roving. I split the roving in half and then I split it in half again. And then I'm just going through and pulling apart the fibers to make it a little bit easier to spin. My goal is to spin pretty thin so I can get a finished worsted weight yarn. I have found that splitting the roving 2, 3, maybe even 4 times and then pulling the fibers apart and pre-drafting it really helps me to be able to spin the fiber thinner, and it's just much easier to draft as well. So this is just half of the roving and I'm gonna spin this one up first. This is my third spin and I definitely think this is way more successful than the first 2. I went ahead and plied this single with the other half of the roving and then put it on my Swift so it would be easier to put ties in it so I can then wet finish my yarn. This is what it looks like before I put it in the water. It's kind of wild looking. It kind of curls up on itself. I then soaked it in water for 15 minutes, set the twist with a little bit of aggression, and I always make sure to rotate the yarn so all of it is getting even tension when I'm doing this. And I hung it on a hanger with vinegar at the bottom to keep it nice and straight. And I waited a couple days for it to dry. So this yarn is done. It's so beautiful and straight and like perfect. I am gonna wrap it around something. I think this thing, which is a 16-inch ruler, and I'm gonna count the yardage and then I'm gonna put it into a hank. Oh my gosh, look at it. I need to weigh it, but it was 76 yards, which is the longest I've done so far compared to like this little one. 118.4 grams. That's pretty good. I love it so much, and it's so pretty. The colors, oh my God. I will put up on the screen what the colorway was and like the brand and everything. It was Malabrigo Noob, but I don't know the colorway, but it's just beautiful. Like it's so amazing. I love it so much. Wow. So these are my final thoughts on this e-spinner. I've never used any other spinner before, so I really don't have anything to compare it to. But after sitting with it for a good month now, I love it so much, and I have spun up so much yarn, like so much of it. And if you're interested in seeing all of my yarn spinning adventures, make sure to subscribe because they will be out in future vlogs. I think this one is my favorite so far. It is huge. It's 181 grams and 276 yards. Wow, yeah, it's huge and it's beautiful and it's fluffy. Oh, and I dyed a single ply yarn blue to ply up with the colorful yarn, and I love it. I love how it turned out. And currently I'm spinning up some roving that I made myself. I dyed my white Cheviot roving and then I blended it on a blending board, which you will see in a future video. And then I made roving out of it, and now I'm currently spinning it up. It's so beautiful. I've also crocheted some mittens out of my handspun yarn, and I love how they turned out. They're so cool. They're so soft. I was definitely so frustrated when I was starting to spin, but with each spin, I got more comfortable with drafting and it became less and less frustrating. Now I understand drafting much better. I know how much to pull, and I'm getting more consistent and very thin yarn. So when I do ply it, it is a worsted weight. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to give it a like, comment down below if you are a spinner or if you've ever wanted to spin. Don't let my frustrations discourage you. It was definitely a learning curve, and there's so much to learn in the fiber world and in the spinning world. I've barely scratched the surface, I feel, but I'm having so much fun. I've been loving buying new roving in a bunch of different colors and seeing how they spin up because it's so different than what it looks like in the roving, and I love that. I've also been really loving dyeing my own roving and experimenting with that, seeing how those spin up as well, and also plying with different colors to really make the colorful yarn stand out. I love that so much. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next one.